Hello, everyone, and welcome to Elevate Your Business. I'm Ed Jarecki, and I'm thrilled to guide you through today's episode. It's designed to inspire and empower you on your journey to business success. Today, we're excited to have with us Vitalii Kostenko. Vitalii and his team provide IT consulting, business automation, and digitalization, grounded in a commitment to delivering solutions that empower businesses to thrive in the digital age. As Vitalii joins us on the show, he'll shed light on what success means to him personally and how his definition has evolved over time, as well as one or two of his top challenges and the lessons learned associated with them. And finally, for today, we'll explore how Vitalii has leveraged innovation in his business and other work to overcome challenges and achieve his goals. So let's welcome Vitalii Kostenko to the show. Vitalii, it's great to see you again. How are you doing?
Hello, Ed. I'm great. Thank you. I'm doing well. How are you?
Thank you so much for being on the show. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. To start with, could you share a little bit more about yourself and your business for our audience?
So I'm CEO of Digital Galaxy, and I'm running a small business, and I'm trying to grow it in a way kind of I understand and I feel right. The main idea of the business is to help companies starting from small businesses to mid-sized and large companies to adopt innovation faster, utilizing the flexibility of the smaller contractor rather than bureaucracy of large companies. So, like we are kind of small fish, but we are trying to be super fast and move faster across ocean and bring innovation in the right place. We strongly believe in innovations, especially this age of AI. And one of the things we're trying to do is to find the right way to utilize these Gen AI models, Gen AI innovations, to develop software faster, more reliable, and more cost efficient. And that's just about it. Specifically, besides kind of general purpose of digitalization and automation of the business, I'm personally very concerned about a series of articles which were published by national security agencies of United States, Great Britain, Australian national security agencies, who emphasized that there is a serious problem with the existing software we got historically in almost each and every part of our life, which is based on C and C++. And they clearly concerned that this software has a so-called memory unsafety. And it's basically vulnerable by default, but some software is just better protected, some less. And they can encourage people to go and replace it with something more memory safe, which is Go, Python, Java, Rust, and many other.
Right.
And I personally trying to contribute to the space, and I'm looking for, at the moment, I'm researching the ways how I can replace this software faster, and especially using generative AI to solve this problem and contribute to our society.
When I was going through your profile, I saw the memory safe and I wasn't sure what that meant. And if I just heard what you said correctly, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but this is something relative to C++ code?
Yeah, so going back to the history, there is a C and C++ languages, which
Right.
are very early languages in the field, very first languages in the field. So most of the things developed later using them on their foundation. And those who designed languages at that moment, they provided very cool way of access to the memory, of computer memory, so-called RAM. And they provided tooling, built tooling into the language, which allow you as a developer physically request spaces in the memory manually and kind of track them. Like, oh, this part goes here, this part goes here. However, in the same time, it provided tooling for hackers who can request something in a certain way to let your program access these toolings for them.
It's a backdoor entry that allows developers access. And what you do is make sure that those accesses are closed.
Yeah, actually provide a bit different comparison.
Okay.
So let's say you like guns and you have one at your home and you securely store it in the special closet, whatever safe place. And you have a kids who desperately want to play this one, but we definitely understand it's not safe for them. And it's constant challenge in between you and kids because kids are trying to get to the safe place when you are not at home or maybe you're asleep or whatever. And you're trying to keep it safe, use a security key, like passwords, whatever. And GAN in this case is this tooling which allows you access to the memory. And kids are kind of hackers. who never going to settle. And the problem is that, and especially that's emphasized in the articles published by NSA and other security agencies, is that unless you have a gun at home, kids will get to the gun at some point in a certain way. They'll be out and they will find a way, or maybe you will be asleep and so on. So the conclusion they get to is that there is no 100% guarantee you can provide the memory safety with C and C++. You can provide a 99.9.
And of course, with AI out there and cyber hackers leveraging that as much as anyone else, the access to that key becomes ever more possible. So if somebody's trying to get you, there's a possibility they could. And I chuckle a little bit just because of the way you explain that, because my son is now almost 32 years old. But he had told me some years after he had moved out, he goes, "Yeah, you remember that locked closet where you kept all the liquor? Yeah." We could find our way. And I've got a key coded lock on there. He goes, "There's a way to get into that closet, just so you know." I'm like, do I really want to know?
Maybe my comparison with a gun was a bit too
No,
rough,
you're fine.
but the idea is good.
It definitely shows the emphasis, because quite honestly, cyber hackers will take everything and more from you if they can. So it might be a severe example, but a very realistic one, depending on where you're at in your life. And if they're coming at you, you don't want to make it easy for them. So thank you for that. One last question. Is there an example of a product or a project that you'd like to share a little bit about on the type of work that you do?
So far, it's only research, because so what I'm trying to figure out is how to get a C++ code base and translate it into the kind of Rust, for example, using generative AI. And it takes some time for me to structure the thing. And so it's still ongoing research, but it's going to be accomplished quite soon.
Awesome.
And probably at that time, I'll be happy to attend your show one more time and do a showcase.
Absolutely. So to start with our next question, you've been through a heck of a journey, but I want to ask you, how do you define success today?
So it's obviously like different areas of your life. Success in the family a bit different from success in the business. But especially take into consideration this rapidly changing life and circumstances. For me personally, I think that success is to be a bit better today than you was yesterday, in some way, and to be a bit better tomorrow than you are today. And this constant innovation and constant improvement of yourself is the success. And it sounds like a simple, but not really simple task. I mean, lots of people do not accomplish it. But if you go with this approach, this attitude on a daily basis, like for several years, you're going to be by far better than many other people. Yeah. And all the other funny things will come to you, like money, recognition, awards, and so on, just because you maintain that attitude and you become a very better person.
I think that's awesome, because the world's greatest experts out there always point to the same thing. And that is that small incremental improvements every day equal great improvement over time, which leads to those outcomes that you were talking about.
Yeah, I have a very simple showcase, which I experienced personally. Besides my career, I was trying to start running in the morning. And I started this 2 kilometers journey. Cannot get better. And I was struggling what to do. And I set a goal tomorrow I'm going to run 20 meters longer than today, whatever it takes. Even if I crawl this 20 meters, in the end of my journey. And next day, I'm going to do 20 meters even further. And in a month, I was running 5 kilometers. This 20-meter steps on daily basis multiplied by 2.5 my initial result just over the months. It's really incredible. Same thing happens in the business and career, and actually in the family as well.
My next question really is about what one or two key challenges experienced and the lessons learned to pass along to our audience. And I know you've got a unique story relative to how you came to the United States to start this business. What are one or two of those key challenges?
So in comparison to the second challenge, the other challenges are just, I would say, simple tasks, more complicated, less complicated. So The two kind of challenges I got is over the lifetime, I got additional responsibilities. So in the companies, when you perform good, the manager says, "Oh, you perform good. Here is a new task for you, a new level of responsibility." And at some point, I was maybe it's too much for me, and I was like almost ready to give up. And I even went to my manager and says, "I think maybe I'm not good enough for this level, this next level." And the guy said, "No, you have no rights to give up. Like you are the best person in the team to perform on the role. I mean, if you step away, we have no other person to go with, and project will fall apart. I mean, you cannot betray this team, this work, and so on. I mean, whatever help you need to get it done." Eventually, I didn't, and I got some help, got some additional education, and I accomplished the task, and I was successful in this new role. So, as a first lesson, you should not give up. Ready to go, find help, find resources, and go to the end. But the second challenge is, and I hope that no one else will experience it in their life. I'm originally Ukrainian, and at the beginning of 2022, I was visiting my friends in Poland. And one evening, when war was not even started, me and my wife figured out that war is going to be started, and invasion will happen like next week, in 2 weeks. And our home at that moment was 35 miles away from the border with Russia. So we clearly understand when invasion starts, we will, the same morning, day, we will find ourselves in the middle of the battlefield. With the tanks going here and there, people shooting. And, at that moment, we took it seriously, and we're trying to brainstorm, like, okay, well, what will happen? Like how things will turn around in different scenarios. And we found no good scenario. Slightly better, slightly worse, but complete disaster, which actually happens right now. And we decided that that's a challenge we cannot overcome. So I don't see a way how I can contribute and overcome this challenge, because the power which stands against me is way bigger than me and anyone around me. So I cannot even imagine a team I can collect to overcome this challenge. And I may compare it with a tornado, which we discussed just a few minutes ago. And the only way I found out is to step away and act from that position. So we decided to move to United States, start a business, and help our friends, our families, country. And from this position, now I still cannot overcome the war, but I can find the customers, I can find the businesses whom I can help. And at the same time, I may hire those people who came as refugees as well as me to the United States and give them a job and may pay them salaries. I can also hire some people abroad and help them feed their families. May even contribute to some foundations to help other refugees or some other people in Ukraine to overcome and to win this competition, this war. So that's the answer I found for myself. And that's a challenge I can't overcome, but I don't see even a way to overcome it in the other way. So going to summarize these two challenges, the first thing probably you should do when you have a challenge, you should accept it. You should not ignore it, because if you ignore the challenge, it will become a problem. And if you ignore a problem, it becomes a disaster. So you never should ignore the challenge. You should accept it. The first thing you should do with the challenge, which you accepted, you should assess it, perform an assessment. Be like, okay, what size of the challenge is it? What I can do? Can I solve it? Can I deal personally? Or do I need a team? Or do I need an additional education to overcome the challenge? So then your challenge, this assessment turns out to be a plan, series of tasks you need to go through to accomplish to overcome the challenge. So now you have a plan. And then you start executing the plan and you overcome the challenge. So kind of you're going from the bigger to smaller, and then you're done. But on the other side, this exercise of overcoming the challenges should give some result to you personally. It might be financial results. It might be endorphins because oh, cool, I did it. I overcome it. I went through it. But there are some challenges which you will go through and you will get no results. So this is type of challenges are questionable. And the right challenges which are bigger than you. Tornado is a good example. The war is a good example. And to some degree, you cannot deal with it. So you should be smart enough to probably step away and hide in the shelter so you can stay alive, come back, and restore whatever was destroyed. Because you have only one life, and I mean, if you're dead, you cannot do anything.
That's right. I empathize with
At
you
this
and
point,
everyone that has to go through these monumental challenges that are outside of our control. A huge percentage of our audience has experienced some of their own challenges of severe magnitude. And to your point, accept, assess, look for solutions, and act, and continue to recycle that thought process in every action and behavior. And of course, I also love the give back component to what you're doing. You're trying to give back to other refugees. You're trying to create jobs, to create incomes, and to help your communities back in your respective homelands. I absolutely respect all of that and applaud everything that you've been through to this particular point and wish you all the best luck and support going forward to accomplish your vision, your mission, and your goals.
thank you. I really appreciate it.
Shifting our conversation a little bit, your business really has a foundation of technology innovation, but overall innovation deals with people, process, technology, and culture. When you consider innovation in your business, what and how do you leverage innovation in order to drive your success?
So, I mean, my business is just about innovation. So it's kind of core idea of the business. But if you look at the history, just to explain how it works, we started with it, people doing labor, moving some blocks around, and then horses and cows came, and they were able to do some heavy lifting better than people. And some people who was doing just heavy lifting lost their jobs, and then some sort of machines came and innovated the area, and it improved that. And then again, someone lost their jobs, and then technology came. There were several iterations. It's endless process. And every time the innovations come, they shift the workforce, they shift the market, and they do things. And what happens in this case is whoever adopts innovation becomes a bit more successful, a bit better, a bit more efficient. It wins bigger share of the market. And whoever refuses gets the innovation. They see people and companies become less competitive. So they're less cost efficient, they're slower, and so on. And they're losing the competition. So they're going off the market. And that's what happens. So my idea is I'm a big fan of innovations. I'm a big supporter of innovations and improvements and automations, just to make everything more efficient than it was. And we may think that some big tech companies are kind of already there and they should not innovate. But these days we see that some company who become an early adopter of artificial intelligence, for example, become rock stars. And some big established enterprise tech companies are missed the opportunity, and now they are number 3 to 4 or 5, whatever, in this ranking, and they're trying to now get up to speed with those who started earlier. And some new companies, even CEOs lost their jobs, which in these days went to look for new opportunities. So I clearly understand this idea, and that's why I'm trying to adopt all the type of innovation I can see and I hear about into my company, and to provide the same idea to my clients. Because I'm trying to do good for them.
Final takeaway for our audience. If there was one thing you could offer them that they really must consider as part of their business journey and life journey to success, what would that be?
So definitely never ever give up. That's true, and it works. And daily improvements are key to everything. And there's a good phrase which I heard from the Admiral McRaven from his commencement speech in UT. Like, nothing matters but your will to succeed. Not your race, not your background, nothing. As hard, as strong as you want to be successful, you want to achieve something, as good you will be. nothing can stand in between the person who knows what he or she wants and the goal. Only a little bit time.
I love it. Thank you for that. I want to thank you for joining us today with a special thanks to Vitalii Kostenko for sharing his insights and success tactics. We hope you feel inspired and motivated to tackle entrepreneurial challenges with innovation and adaptability. Remember, success is personal. Define it for yourself. But always remember to embrace change, seek growth, and adapt to the ever-evolving business landscape. Thanks again to Vitalii and all of our listeners, and we'll see you next time as we continue exploring more stories from incredible entrepreneurs. Stay resilient, stay innovative, and have a wonderful day, everyone.
Okay, bye.